Hi friend, Nikki, your light therapist here. Really quick, want to give you an overview of the Podiatric boot, the light boot, how to use it, how to set it up. So a little bit unique about the boot is it will come folded in half. Now, most of our pads, we encourage you, do not fold the pads in half because it will crack the circuit board that's in them. They can fold, they can bend. Our Podiatric boot is different. It can fold in half, so don't worry if it comes flat like this. Great for traveling, easy transportation, etc. To use the boot, it's a little bit different. So it's longer, if you'll notice, than most of our other pads. The other thing that you'll notice is the diodes on this pad are farther apart. The reason for that being, when you're dealing with something like neuropathy, where you have nerves that haven't had blood flow in a long time or circulation, they're essentially dying, you don't want to give them too much light too fast, because the process of those nerves and those cells and that blood flow getting going in that certain area of the body can actually sometimes be a little bit painful. Imagine that you've got frostbite on your hands, or if you live in a cold state where you come in from the cold and your parts of your body just ache even while they're warming up. That's kind of the same thing that can happen with something like neuropathy. So the diodes are more spread out to make the process and the journey towards recovery in that area easier, gentler on the body. So that's going to be a little bit about the lights. In order to put them on your feet, there's two different things you can do. We call these the boots. So one way is you can take your foot, this is going to be our foot for the day, and you can put it on the runway of the pad. So just directly in the middle where I've got this long, more square portion on the back heel, and then I've got the little bit longer shaped part of the pad in the front. What you're going to do is I prep my Velcro strap before I start to put it on, because it's just easier when you're trying to do a lot of things with just one or two hands. So you're going to take this front part of the pad and attach that strap kind of at an angle onto the corner of your pad. So if you'll notice, this one's not at an angle. It's at a little bit of an angle, just like that, because I'm gonna wrap it essentially around the back of the boot. So I've prepped my strap, I've got my foot on that center runway. I'm going to fold this front part over my toes, and then I'm going to lift this back portion up against my calf, the back or bottom of your calf or the bottom part of your heel. And then I'm gonna take that light strap that I've prepped and I'm going to wrap it around that back part of the pad that goes around your heel or your calf. And then I'm going to secure it back on the front of that toe pad. I know that was a bit of a process. This one's a little bit funky to get set up, but easy and feels really good once it's on. So if you'll look and see, I've got my toes wrapped. I've got this part of the pad going up on the back of my ankle, a little bit up my calf. My foot is nice and secure in that. You can sit, you can put your feet up and relax, whatever you want to do. Another way to set up the Podiatric boot is, let's undo this really quick. You can take your foot, and what you're gonna do is you're essentially gonna set it up like this. So you can put your foot, instead of putting it in the middle of the runway, you're gonna put it more towards the edge of that front pad. So again, I've got this longer piece in the back, put it up against there. The next thing that you can do is you can take a pad, take a strap, and you can wrap this pad around. This is a longer strap. If you have a shorter one, feel free to use it. And I'm gonna wrap it essentially around the front part of my foot. So I'm gonna cocoon the front of my foot. Then the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my other strap and I'm gonna put this up against the back of my calf. So this is gonna go up a little bit higher depending on where you're experiencing neuropathy. You can use this way. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this strap and essentially just wrap it around my calf, maybe once, maybe twice, and secure it there. Okay, so now you've got another way to wear the Podiatric boot. Also, again, very secure. Feel free to leave your feet down if you're sitting. You can also lean back and put them up. You are going to have a lot of really neat things happening if you struggle with neuropathy in your feet when you use the Podiatric boot.